Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and double honors to the elders of GMS that rule well. Alright, and shalom to the true brothers out there doing the sincere work of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Alright, this lesson is entitled basically Bill S-7. Alright, it corresponds to what's happening in America, you know, because we're in here in Canada. You know, I'm the brother Uramia from Toronto Prophets. So basically, I was researching this matter, and you know, the Spirit led me to bring it out because it is an important matter for you Jakes up here in Canada. You know, you got the brothers in Winnipeg. You know, GMS brothers in Winnipeg. You know, so this is imperative that you know you Israelites in Canada know about this too. You know, because you think, oh, America's all fucked up and that's not coming up here. Canada's the same thing basically. You know. So first I want to bring out Revelation 2 and 10. It says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." The key thing here is be thou faithful unto death. Why did the Lord tell you that? Because they're going to have instruments of which to put you to death, you know? Like Elder Gabar and the other elders bring out, the guillotine is one of those instruments. You know, those concentration camps, they have many instruments of death. You know, so the elect, the true men of the Most High and Yahweh Shai, they have to be faithful unto death. You know? And I want to look up two words here in the Greek. Tried and tribulation. You shall be tried. So the word tried in the Greek is parazo, okay, which means to try whether a thing can be done, to attempt, endeavor, to try, make trial of, test, for the purpose of ascertaining his quality, right? Because the Most High is dealing with who? The men, not the women. For the purpose of ascertaining his quality, or what he thinks, or how he will behave himself. Alright, so basically it's a test. The Most High is testing you, you know, to see if you're the elect, man, which is basically purifying you. Alright, from the root para, which means a trial, experience, attempt. Alright, and then tribulation is, I'll just play it.
Strong's G 2347. Thlipsis.
Thlipsis, which means a pressing together, pressure. Metaphor, oppression, affliction, tribulation, distress, straits. So you shall have tribulation. Alright, and that's what's coming, man. Alright, because you Negroes up here in Canada, man, you Latinos and you dumbass tomahawks, man, you think Canada's your friend and all this shit, man. You know, Canada's just as worse as America. Canada does it on the slicker side. Alright, and I'm gonna prove it by these bills they pass. Okay, so this is from Wikipedia under the section or topic or title Anti Terrorism Act. Alright, and you see Parliament here, which is in located in Ottawa, right, the capital of Canada, where they pass all their legislations and other acts. Alright, and I think it was 2 years ago, the elder Daniela, myself, and Yawasip, and another nigga that he's gone now, he's out of the picture, you know, we went up there to Ottawa in the winter and we prophesied in front of the gates, and we actually went in Parliament, we videotaped it, alright, because they got a lot of demonic symbols up in there, but we went in front and prophesied in front of these devils. And I remember the RCMP supervisor came up and he was asking what are we all about and this and that, and we told him straight up, you know. So these devils know about us, of course, man. You know, even if we didn't go up there, they already know about us. We're on their list. All right. So this is the section. It says the Canadian Anti Terrorism Act was passed by the Liberal government of Canada in response to the September 11, 2001 attacks in the United States. So see, I thought we're two separate entities, man. No, whatever happens in America, it affects Canada, man. You know, Canada passes things right after 6 months, right after America passes it. You know, six months to a year, they'll pass the same thing. All right. It received royal assent on December 18, 2001 as Bill C-36. All right. And royal assent to prove that Canada isn't free. It's not a separate entity from Britain or England. It is. Royal assent basically means it has to go before the Queen, before the throne. And Lord's will, I'll bring out a video to show that, listen, Canada's not as well as America. Alright, they're not separate entities from United Kingdom, from Britain. They're still colonies of it. They're still subject. It says the Omnibus Bill extended the powers of the government and institutions within the Canadian security establishment to respond to the threat of terrorism. The expanded powers were highly controversial due to widely perceived incompatibility with the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. In particular for the Act's provision allowing for secret trials, preemptive detention, and expansive security and surveillance powers. Same thing that America did under the Patriot Act. This is the counter of the Patriot Act, the Canadian version of the Patriot Act. All right, a lot of you Israelites up here, you didn't know about this, man, because these things are done in times you're distracted. You know. So, and omnibus, it's interesting to know omni means many. Like you have the term omnipotent, which the Most High is omnipotent. Omnibus, matter of fact, I'll look it up, but omnibus basically means a way for many, because what is a bus? All right, a bus carries many people, right? A bus is a vehicle that carries many people. So omni, it's self-explanatory. So here, omnibus is a Latin term, right? Which means an old term for bus or wagonette, being the Latin for all. So this bill literally means for all. So this bill applies to all. Okay? So down here, Bill C-36, this bill provides similar measures to that of the USA Patriot Act, passed by the United States in the same time frame, right? Like I was saying before, Canada passes the same shit. The bill's passage has been compared to the government's activation of the War Measures Act in response to terrorist attack activity by the FLQ, which was during the time, I believe, Trudeau. The FLQ was in Quebec. They were like a French terrorist group, whatever. And Trudeau basically declared martial law. He put the military on the streets. So you assholes talking about, oh, this can never happen in Canada. It already happened, man. They already had the military on the streets. That's why it's called the War Measures Act. Because I believe the FLQ, I forget what it specifically stands for. The French Liberation something. French Liberation Quebecois or whatever. And I think they kidnapped a politician, and they had bombs in mailboxes and all this crazy shit. So they just brought the military on the streets, man. So it already happened in Canada, you know, and it's getting ready to happen again. All right. So Bill S-7. So this was just a precursor. All right. Now this is the main thing that's activated today, so to speak. All right, for lack of a better term, it's in effect today. All right, Bill S-7, the Combating Terrorism Act 2012. Some of the bill's provisions expired on March 1st, 07, referring back to C-36 and Omnibus. 07. The Conservative government urged that these be renewed, while all three opposition parties were opposed. Specifically, the provisions had to do with preventative arrest and investigative hearings. Alright, preventative arrest, meaning they think you're gonna do a crime, so they arrest you, which sounds a lot like that movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise, which that was even more hardcore. But even, this is like a precursor to that. Alright, so they think you're a terrorist, they arrest you for a crime you didn't even commit. In 2012, the government introduced Bill S-7, the Combating Terrorism Act, in the Senate, which proposes to restore the expired provisions and introduces new crimes for leaving Canada to join or train with a terror group. On April 19, just after the Boston Marathon bombings, which I remember that is so coincidental that after the 9/11, Canada passes. After the Boston Marathon bombings, you couldn't get these guys to vote on it, because here I missed out this part. On February 29th, 07, the House of Commons voted 159-124 against renewing the provisions, which later led to their expiry. So that bill expired, so they needed a new catastrophe, the Boston Marathon bombings. So April 19th, 2013, just after the Boston Marathon bombings, the government rearranged the parliamentary agenda to fast-track Bill S-7 to a vote on April 22nd or 23rd, 2013. The act received the royal assent on May 24th, 2013, which is earlier this year. Alright, so this bill is in effect. So now I'm going to go into the actual bill of what it has to offer, basically, for you Canadian citizens. Alright, so I'm going to bring out the bill just now. Okay, shalom. So I'm back here, and I have the information here. This is from the government. Alright, as you see here, this is public information, Library of Parliament. Alright, legislative summary, as you see Parliament right here in the picture. Bill S-7, an act to amend the Criminal Code, the Canada Evidence Act, and the Security of Information Act. Alright, so in America, I'm not quite sure what the code is. In Canada, it's called the Criminal Code of Canada, which is basically all your procedures for your crimes, basically. All right, and publication is June 22nd, 2012. All right, Jennifer Bird, Dominique Valiquette, Legal and Legislative Affairs Division, Parliamentary Information and Research Service. All right, so this is public information again. As you see here, HTML and PDF versions of this publication are available on Intrapart, the Parliamentary Intranet, and on the Parliament of Canada website. Alright, so which I got the PDF and I printed. Alright, so I'm going to read some of the highlights of this, because there's a lot. There's like 2 booklets I printed, so I'm just going to read the main subjects, basically. So this is from page, one second, page 2. Alright, so it says here, like its predecessors, Bill S-7 proposes amendments to the criminal code that reinstate anti-terrorism provisions, permitting a peace officer, with the prior consent of the Attorney General of Canada and in circumstances where a terrorism offense is under investigation, to apply to a judge for an order to compel an individual believed to have information relating to a particular offense to appear at an investigative hearing to answer questions and produce relevant information. The bill also reinstates provisions allowing for preventative arrest and the placing of individuals under recognizance, which is surveillance, alright, with conditions and circumstances where there is reason to believe that doing so is necessary to prevent a terrorist act. So basically all your rights are done away with, So